because my attention fell upon a Sacramento Bee story from last week about Meg Whitman, who we've heard on this program before. Meg Whitman, the former eBay CEO, running for governor of California, and the Sacramento Bee did a hit piece on her last week, alleging she had never voted before 1992 in California. She had never voted in Ohio when she lived there. In my eyes, I immediately saw that they'd only quoted one expert, Mark Petrarca, who's been a friend of mine for 20 years and is left of Obama as you can possibly be, and Mark's the one in there declaiming that she's an embarrassment and outrage. Well, I did some checking, and I sent some questions off to the Whitman campaign, and then I called the Sacramento Bee earlier today because they made two statements. They said that neither Ohio State election officials nor Hamilton County Board of Elections officials found a record of Whitman registering or voting in Ohio from 79 to 81. That's not true. Then it also said the San Francisco County Elections Office no longer retains records prior to 1992, but said that Whitman had Whitman been registered in voting, her registration information would have been transferred to the current system. They have no record of her registration. That's not true. At least 3 errors, big ones, in this very biased agenda journalism story. So I tracked down the reporter. He wouldn't talk to me. His name is Andrew McIntosh. Absolutely refused to talk to me. So then I got to his editor, Amy Chance. She did talk to me for a little bit. Here's that conversation. Joined now by Amy Chance of the Sacramento Bee. Amy, are you the political editor or are you the editor-in-chief? What's your job?
I'm political editor at the Bee.
Okay. Now, the Whitman story that Andrew McIntosh ran with on September 24th doesn't name anyone in the San Francisco registrar's office. Is there a specific person you talked to there?
I can have you talk to him about that and the details of how that worked.
He wouldn't talk to me. I called him earlier today.
Okay, I can find out.
Okay, so there is a specific person?
Oh, sure.
Okay, and in terms of, because we now have a letter that says that they don't have any data for anyone before 1992, not Dianne Feinstein, not Nancy Pelosi, no one.
Uh-huh.
Doesn't that raise questions about whether or not it's an issue that she may have voted and you just didn't discover it?
We've asked her to explain that, and what we've very clearly said in the story is that we were simply unable to find it. If you read the article, we were very careful to say that we looked in for the information and we weren't able to find it. And frankly, there are a couple things where that's one instance of it, but there are other places throughout the country that we looked over a long period of years where we also were unable to find any record of registration or voting.
Do you think the story made it clear that no one has records of voting prior to 1992 in San Francisco, or that you tried and failed to find other stuff? Because I think it may have misled readers.
I don't think it's misleading that she said she registered to the convention in 1998. In February, she went to the convention. She said that, and there is no evidence at this point, and they've been able to bring forward no evidence that she was registered in 1998. Which is the most recent date.
Yeah, but
I think the period that you're referring to is an earlier period.
Yeah, it said
and what the registrar told us at that time was that if she had registered and voted, that it would have carried over.
Yeah, and that's what I think is incorrect. The story reads, for much of the 1980s, Whitman lived in San Francisco as a management consultant at an investment firm, Bain & Company. The San Francisco County Elections Office no longer retains records prior to 1992, but said had she been registered and voting, her registration information would have been transferred to the current system. They have no record of her registration. That clearly implies, it's explicit, that the Bee wants people to believe she was not registered.
Well, we're reporting what they told us.
And that's so you think someone specifically told Andrew McIntosh that?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you put the name of that individual in the story?
We talked to many registrars over a long period of time.
But, the San Francisco registrar, you're certain there's an absolute on-the-record someone because the city now sends out letters that says, no, we don't have any records on anyone.
Well, I haven't seen that letter, but I'd be happy to take a look at it.
The story also talks about Ohio and says that she was not registered, quote, neither Ohio State elections officials nor Hamilton County Board of Elections officials found a record of Whitman registering or voting there from 1979 to 1981. Correct?
Correct.
I have a letter from the Board of Elections registration clerk, Jean Barry, stating that unequivocally that Meg Whitman was registered in the county from April of 1980 through December of 1982, and when her registration was canceled, it was stamped, moved out of the county.
And who provided that? Did the Whitman campaign provide that to you?
I have asked the Whitman campaign for it, and they have sent it to me.
Okay. Well, I have to tell you that when we were preparing the article, we very carefully asked the Whitman campaign for as many that's documentation.
Amy, that's beside the point. I'm wondering.
And I wasn't provided it.
But yeah, but I went and asked them for it after your story came out, but evidently Andrew did not check well. It's just wrong. Your story's flat out wrong according to a document I've got in my hand.
We've not been asked for any correction on the article by the Whitman campaign itself.
But I'll read you. What is your reaction? I'll read you the letter that I have in my hand.
Can you fax it to me?
No.
I would love to see it. Let me give you a fax number.
Wait, no, because I have an exclusive. I'm going to run with my own exclusive, Amy, for a day or so. But I'll read it to you. It says October 2nd, 2009. This letter is to verify that Margaret Cushing Whitman, born 8/4/1956, was registered to vote in Hamilton County, Ohio on 4/22/1980. The registration was canceled on 12/22/1982, stamped moved out of county. I read this information on a microfilm reader but cannot reproduce it in original form. Sincerely, Jean Barisi, registration clerk. How come Andrew didn't find something that's a public record?
I don't know that that's the case. I need to see the letter, and I'd be happy to take a look at it. If the Whitman campaign would like to provide it to us.
Wait, I'm not working for the Whitman campaign. I'm thinking that the Sacramento Bee did a hit job on a Republican candidate by distorting what appeared to be an obvious thing in 1992 backwards, that there are no records in San Francisco, missing an obvious record in Ohio, missing a 1999 record from Santa Clara, and basically ignoring what Meg Whitman has said in the past. It's just shoddy reporting. How come no one was named as sources in either San Francisco Register or the Ohio
We're
sources?
very comfortable with our reporting. I think you will find that after the article ran, that Whitman went to the convention and apologized profusely for her past behavior in voting, and that she, for much of her adult life, as she said, was not registered and did not vote.
But Amy, that's not what I'm calling about. I'm calling about journalism 101. There's no source named for public officials commenting on voting records, which is not it's not super secret. But if a source had been named, I could go back and check Andrew's reporting, which I actually think he made up. I think he'd been fed a line because no one would get this wrong.
I'd love to see the letters if you have proof. If the Whitman campaign is providing to you that they did not provide to us, I would like to.
Amy, you're sounding like.
I'm in a meeting.
One more question. You're sounding like a candidate. Why didn't the paper just print the names of the people that they talked to in a public setting, in a public office, that provided you obviously with either erroneous information or didn't provide you with any information? Why not name?
Clerks are identified by name.
Not in the San Francisco Registrar office, not in the Ohio Hamilton County offices. 3 different sources cited, 3 different no names. How could an editor let that go through?
I'm very comfortable with this article.
Did you edit the story?
Yes, I did.
Did you see the names of the people that Andrew talked to in Ohio state elections, Hamilton?
I am very confident on his notes.
But did you see the names of those people?
Can I ask you something off the record?
No. I'm on the record. We're recording. It's going to play on the air. This is all on the record.
But I'd like to ask you.
No. As I am the one calling and interviewing you, not you calling and interviewing. You can call me back later, but I got a story here of just journalistic malpractice, and I'm giving you a chance to defend it by giving me the names.
Well, I can get back to you and do that.
I will stand by my phone.
Preparation for this interview, you called me cold, so I would like to see what you have.
Are you complaining?
I would like to see what you would like me to respond to.
I'm sure you would, but are you complaining that a journalist called you cold?
Thanks for calling, Hugh.
Amy?
Bye-bye.
Amy? And there you have it, America. The Sacramento Bee. There you have it, America. 1-800-520-1234. Never in my life has a, quote, journalist, close quote, complained to me that I called them cold about a story they ran in their newspaper a week ago, and which is obviously deeply flawed, unsourced, probably a manipulated piece of journalism.